Welcome.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Let's Talk Musique.
I'm JR.
I'm Ty, and this episode is brought to you by West Coast Guitars. We love these guys, and you should too, so please go visit them at 2741 East Hastings Street in Vancouver, British Columbia. Everything for your guitar and music needs. That's West Coast Guitars at 2741 East Hastings. Ooh, we got a juicy one for you today, folks.
Am I cool enough for this episode?
I believe you are.
Okay.
I wore my extra 90s
Well, with that
Nike sweater on.
As long as I'm in your vicinity, I am cool. I got the cool factor.
And I also put on my Air Force Ones. Not all white Air Force Ones. A little bit of a hint. We are giving a shout out to Atlanta's own Outkast.
Outkast.
Oh, man.
I like the way you move.
So good. This band is such a huge influence on me growing up. I grew up in a white suburb, so I know a lot about hip-hop.
That explains a lot, actually.
It's like, yeah, it was very predominant. It was mainly what we listened to.
I learned
and
so
also
much
through
about
skateboarding
Ty.
and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. I don't know. Do you have any like first?
Well,
do you remember the first time?
Yeah,
you kinda...
absolutely. The first time seeing Outkast to me, again, if you're getting to know me throughout the episodes, a metalhead growing up in the 90s. It was taboo to like this hip hop, but Outkast were different. Is it the Outkast or the Outkast? Callback to a previous episode. No, like to me, it was 90s hip hop was different anyway. Like there were characters, there were actual, like everybody kind of had a spot, or everyone tried to make a spot and not look like each other. And Outkast, I liked them and they appealed to me as a metalhead. Just they sneaked in to me and I became a fan early because of their eccentric clothing, something. Their videos were amazing.
The whole aesthetic was
definitely
weird. It was fucking
and
weird.
And I loved weird shit.
Yeah, I was like, these dudes are super weird.
Yeah.
So they're formed in like 1992. It's Andre 3000 and Big Boy. They're high school people back in East Point, Georgia.
Shout out.
East Point, Georgia. So that's in 1992, and then they come out with their debut album, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Musique, in 1994.
As soon as I saw that word, I was like, okay, cool.
Right? Yeah. Who is this?
Yeah.
It's kind of this callback to have the name and the title is just all one word.
Yeah.
So kind of a George Clinton Parliament callback. Like he would love that. Like if like the Peppers kind of did it later on with George Clinton with Freaky Styley, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So super cool. It just meant like funk.
Yeah, you
know?
could tell there was real soul behind them. Even with a title like that, you're just like, okay, what's up? Like now, it's even weirder to me, and I'm like, now, okay, I have to hear them. Like,
so like 94, a real big year for music.
Pivotal, all styles of music,
big time.
Like just music in general, a lot was happening that year.
In hip hop, I feel like we kind of already had the NWA era, and there was this new East versus West. Pac was super big. You had Snoop kind of coming in. It was such a popular time for hip hop, and then and in rock as well. And then Kurt Cobain dies.
Yeah,
and rock just straight up dies.
Yeah, it's true.
There were some great bands that came after that. Like there's like the Flaming Lips were like soon right after that, but because of the cloud of just
it was a dark time
of Kurt Cobain dying was like
and that's what made grunge music what it is. When you think of the word grunge now, you just think depression and sad. Like it's grunge, like.
Yeah,
and that was the ultimate ending, though.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say that that was the reason that it got super popular, but maybe it had a little bit. I mean, the music speaks for itself 100% in hip hop through this, but I think they gained a lot of like kind of white audience through this because
when the pendulum goes one way so far, it came back.
There wasn't to listen to, and there's really good shit that was coming out,
and there was
hip-hop.
Good shit coming out.
Such
at that
good
time.
stuff,
like a lot of good music out of hip hop.
So that album had like Players Ball. That one hit number 1 for them, which is like that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Your first album. You're a couple of like weirdo dudes from the
How
south.
do you know how old they were at that time? Or
No, I don't. I imagine they're pretty young. But it was such a trip, right? Because it was like there was this huge East Coast, West Coast, like
this is the
guppies,
height of East Coast, West Coast.
Guppies hold their breath.
Yeah. As a metalhead, this was the most interesting thing going on in hip hop was East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, and I had those Mac 10 albums.
I was very enthralled. Oh, Mac 10. Okay.
Dude,
believe it or
Guppies,
not,
bro.
I was a huge West Coast guy. Like I loved West Coast hip hop. Yeah,
I agree. I was definitely more on the West. As I got older, I think I appreciated the lyrical.
Yes, but
the
Biggie
East a little more about it.
But Biggie to me was my favorite. But besides Biggie, the West Coast with again you said started NWA. Ice Cube for me.
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
Mac 10 and West Coast Connect. Warren G. Nate Dogg, even like come on,
yeah,
man. R.I.P. Nate Dogg,
dude,
100%.
Such good,
but just
stuff.
gems.
Gems,
yeah, that's
gems.
my
Because
point.
most of them are like at this time, and like all these samples sampling is becoming a big thing,
Huge,
and they
yeah.
are calling back to George Clinton and Parliament.
Yeah.
They're all these like Parliament funkadelic samples.
And that's
like
the cool thing about
these songs
hip-hop.
were the jam.
You can actually
way back.
sample songs that you love and influence you. Like you can't do that in another style of music. You can't just play a beat
No.
from somebody else. But like that's how hip hop was created. Then it was done by sampling there, and I always love that. I love to. I go.
Such a
You
cool
could
part
show.
of it.
You could show the audience immediately what influences
What you're
you,
into, yeah.
what you're into.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's 94, super awesome. And then their sophomore album.
Music's going through such a change at this time.
Their sophomore album, AT Aliens, is probably considered, for me, probably the best hip hop album of all time.
Wow. Wow, you guys hear that?
Shots fired.
Wow.
That's
Them's fighting words,
how
everybody.
much influence this album had on my life.
Yeah.
And it's just how good it is. It really is that good. And I'm not the only person who would say that.
No. That's definitely the word on the street.
It comes out
96. Yeah, I was going to
September.
ask you what year.
It comes out August 27th, 1996. Tupac dies September 13th, 1996. So it's like, I feel like maybe that album at the time, that's only not even a month after it had come out.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of this. You get this
Again,
huge. Hip hop is now
Yeah,
treated with the same thing that the rock world just kind of went through 2 years prior with Kurt Cobain dying, where
Good
now you
point.
get
Good
your
point.
person, and this huge cloud goes over it. Then Biggie dies like a year later.
And that's so true too, because Tupac, the equivalent of Tupac to hip hop, Kurt Cobain to rock, it's there.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
very. They
connection.
both have a punk rock fucking attitude about shit.
It was
and,
like this king, that king, both
Yeah.
fallen.
and then
Yeah.
your East Coast King dies a year later. So it's like
But leave it to the white guy to kill himself. Well, the black.
maybe.
Shots fired, Courtney.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So you're right. So again, this dark cloud at that time on over hip hop, huge.
And I think maybe that album didn't get like I remember.
Yeah,
I can remember
overshadowed.
going to buy these albums as a kid because like Outkast albums were always great. Like they were nuts, and there was like one HMV in Richmond Center Mall. Shout out Richmond Center Mall. Shout out Miss
We're doing a lot of
Vanilli's Pizza
shout-outs.
Slice. Pizza Slice.
Can we
Biggest
just get
pizza
free
slice.
stuff for shout-outs?
That's what I'm trying to do here.
Shout out Red
Poster World.
Lobster.
Shout out Poster World.
Shout out Poster
I'm
World.
just thinking about other Richmond Center.
Oh, I was just thinking of things I want.
I can get you some sick posters.
Shout
dude.
out big, beautiful women. Give me some sick posters. I need posters.
I need some posters.
Good
dude.
point. Yeah.
So where am I? I'm in Richmond Center Mall. I'm a very young kid. I'm in like elementary school still. I'm in grade like 6 or some shit. And their albums were always had crazy art on them, but the CDs themselves had printing on them too, and that was like always a gem when you got a CD
I
that was
love
like
that.
And it was always like a cartoon,
Oh.
kind of like anime style of a very bodacious woman, ass naked. It was just like a Foxy Brown type of character, always naked. It was just, I mean, you're in grade 6.
Oh,
You're a white kid in Canada. These were great.
Is it like the Lola Bunny thing, or like
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
They unsexualized her. Is it desexualized her?
Yeah, no, this was definitely sexualized.
But this was very.
This was old.
This is part 1 Space Jam. This is not part 2 Space Jam. Okay, cool.
Right. That's right.
Shout out Foxy Brown. No.
Yeah, and I remember like there was a clerk there that would sell it to us because like they were only, you couldn't like buy albums at that time in grade 6 with the parental advisory. It was a huge thing.
Right.
So all that garbage. But I remember getting this album home and just front to back, it is unbelievable. There's not a bad song on this album, and it flows so well.
Yeah.
And even though it's samples, it doesn't feel like samples. It sounds like all live off the floor. Like kind of recordings with stuff.
I love
very
when hip hop could get that sound. I loved it.
Very organ heavy, super organ heavy. The whole album is just like whirly-bird everywhere.
Nothing's better than hip hop with a live band.
That's why the Roots are the fucking. That's why the Roots are the Roots.
That's why I absolutely.
They're also
love
the Roots
that.
because of Questlove.
I think he's
and
a big,
the rest of.
I think he's a big part of it.
The Root, yeah. The Roots are phenomenal though.
Shout out Questlove. No.
So to me, that was my biggest kind of album, and it's not that I didn't follow them after this, because it's like they still came out with such throughout their whole career. It's been fire, and every album has changed so much. Because then you get into like the year 2000, and it's like what is it? Stagnosis? It was
Stankonia.
Stankonia, yeah.
Yeah.
That album's crazy.
It is. Yeah,
it's wild.
It's very different too from
so
the other stuff.
different, right? And then 2003 they got
Speakerbox, is it?
Yeah, Speakerbox is so good, and that's a double
no,
album.
that was a set. But no, yes, double album, but separated album
for sure.
Did they do any songs as a band together on that album, or was that Andre's side, Big Boy's side?
I think it was Andre's and Big Boy's side. I'm sure there had to be.
I remember that though. No, but I remember that being like, I felt the disconnection between them. I was like, because I'm seeing Hey Ya, which everybody knows that song. Shake It Like a Polaroid.
I had a friend that thought it was
Don't
Shake It Like a Pornograph Teacher.
Oh.
And I was like, no. And we never told him that it was Polaroid picture. I suppose a pornograph teacher would shake it. Quite well.
That's
but yeah.
But I felt like I feel like they got huge commercial success for that album.
Big time.
Not to say they didn't have it before, but this really put them on the map with Suburban Moms.
And then the imagery alone.
Yeah. The videos, again, I love the videos. But again, like that Miss Jackson was on that, right? Oh, so many. Hey Ya, Miss Jackson. So many good tracks. But again, I couldn't help to go, why is it called Outkast? Why wouldn't they just say this is Andre 3000 singing Hey Ya? You know what I mean?
I think they were just trying to do, I don't know. Like I said, every album there has been so kind of different, and maybe just to do something different. I kind of personally, I like that they didn't. I
wonder. Did they just come out separately?
I don't know. I've never gotten the chance.
I wonder what they did. Like they have their own thing, and then one of them would go away, and then they'd come back.
Take a break.
Yeah, they just become the other hype man.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, but you're
Jay,
right.
why don't you take this last half of this show? I'll be
you're
right back.
Definitely right.
Just came out with a double album.
They were always trying new stuff and out of the box stuff, and that definitely seemed like maybe that was the move.
Always.
But did they release an album after this? I don't think so.
Not.
So maybe I really felt the disconnect was real. It made it more real.
For sure.
Yeah.
They as much as their albums were always different, they still had that Dirty South.
Yeah. Oh, I
vibe.
I love that Dirty South.
And
vibe
it's the
too.
best.
Yeah.
It's the best. Atlanta is the best.
Yeah.
I
never knew Atlanta before them. As
far as hip hop. Yeah, I mean, it
was West Coast, East Coast.
That's what I'm saying. East Coast, West Coast, and there was like, who are these freaks from Atlanta? Yo, come on out.
What am I? Stroll through with their weird colored pants.
I'm sorry. Did you just say you're cooler than a polar bear's toenails? Who the fuck? What are you? Who does that? That's really cold.
Yeah, but how much do you shoot out of your window? You know,
and
Outkast is like, no, man.
Who are these freaks coming out?
They're just
of the South, man.
Yeah, so they're always different, always awesome.
Hot Atlanta.
I always felt a huge connection to them. I loved again, they're on a next level, so they're trying new things every album. even the separating things, but even their music, because it even changed every album, and it was still top quality, if not getting better.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Atlanta's the best, by the way.
He likes Atlanta.
I've
Do you
even
have
been
some sort of connection
I
to
haven't
Atlanta?
even been into Atlanta. I've just been to Atlanta Airport. And it was the best time of my life.
How do you have the best time of your life at an airport?
Check this. So, I mean, I don't know if you've ever, like, if you've been to Atlanta Airport. Basically, if you're going to fly out of the States, if you're, like, leaving from Canada, if you're going to go to anywhere else,
ATL?
there are, like, So there's 2 airports that you'll fly out of the States if you're going to go, like, super international, whatever, to Europe, wherever the hell it is. It's usually, like, Houston or Atlanta. And if you're coming back. So I was coming back from Panama, and I had, like, a 8-hour layover.
Was that
in
like
Atlanta.
a church trip or something to Panama?
Yes.
A missionary trip?
Yeah. No, I met Jimmy Buffett down there. We
A
go
buffet.
down. A buffet. Second episode. Second
Back.
mention of buffet in this series. That's fantastic.
I'm going to sneak it in every episode.
I got a good story for him later. Maybe we'll do an episode.
There
We might
you
have
go.
to on the Parrot Heads.
I think so.
So I get into Atlanta from Panama, and I have, like, I'm looking very punk rock. I've got tight plaid pants
You got
on.
suspenders?
Yeah. Yeah,
Were
the
they
whole
hanging
mission.
down?
No, I think I probably had them up, but I probably had a chain or something
Chain
like
wallet?
that. Yeah, because I just had come from Panama City and the clothes were, like, really cheap there, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stock up at these stores. So I walk in there, and, like, I had to transfer my luggage to go to a different plane, and, like, but I had to give it to somebody, and I'm walking, and I'm like, I don't know, and there's tons of people working there, and again, it's all just, like, super friendly, bodacious black women.
What
and
year?
It's like,
When is this?
this is like, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So,
Continue.
and I'm, like, trying to look for my bag, and this woman just like, "Can I help you, sir?" And I was like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just looking for my bag." And she used the bag handler, and she had nails like Flojo, like they were so long. And I was like, "Why do they have you handling the bags?" That seems like
seems very counterproductive
Yeah.
to have nails like
right.
that.
Keep walking a little down. Another person greets me. "How are you doing today, sir?" And I was like, "Oh, actually, I'm a little bit disappointed." And she said, "Why?" I go, "Well, I've been in Atlanta for 10 minutes now, and I haven't seen Andre 3000 or Big Boy. I swear to God." And she's like, "Oh, I like you, white boy." I
Does she
go.
invite you over for cornbread and, like, dinner with her family?
I felt like if I had stayed a little
Sounded like that's where
longer.
that was going.
Okay, then I'm like, I need to go. I was drinking at the time, and I was like, I need to go to the bar. There's a smoking lounge
Of course.
inside Houston Airport, the
Those were the
Budweiser
times.
smoking lounge. So I go up into this smoking lounge, and I sit down. She's like, "What kind of beer you want?" And I had been drinking, like, I've been living in Panama for 4 years, so I was just drinking, like, shit, like lagers the whole time. So now there was, like, these pale ales and stouts and all this stuff, and there was a 420 ale. Which I was like, "I'll have the 420 ale." She's like, "Oh, yeah, you will." And it was came back. I had a dart sitting there in the airport. It's unbelievable. I go to my gate, and there's, like, no plane. You can see, right? Like, and there's no planes. Like, there's no, and, like, usually they're trying to fuel up or check the tires. I don't know. I don't do aviation. Yeah.
Over in the side.
I don't know what the hell's going on. So this woman comes over to the speakerphone. It's for Delta Airlines. She's like, "Hey, we have an announcement to make." She's like, "Y'all's plane ain't coming." Like, all the white people start freaking out. None of the black people are doing anything. They don't care. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's like, who gives a shit, right? We're going to see what we can do. Like, this is my friend Sasha. And, like, pan over to Sasha. Sasha doesn't say a word. Sasha just smiles and nods. Like, "We're going to see what we can do. We'll get back to you." Click. Go to the intercom. No more information. Whatever. Half an hour, 45 minutes in. "Hey, this is Juanica again. This is my friend Sasha." Pan over to Sasha. Sasha nods. Back to Juanica. He's like, "Listen, there's a plane coming in from Vegas. It's the same kind of plane, and y'all gonna take that to LA." So I had to go Houston, from Atlanta to LA to LA to here.
LA to it. Yeah, okay.
Y'all gonna take that to LA. Boom. Hangs it up. Comes back on. "This is Juanica. This is Sasha." Sasha nods. They get us boarded on the plane, the whole deal, the whole mission. It was absolutely, they gave us, like, complimentary drinks, like, on the plane. She's like, "We appreciate you flying Delta, and we appreciate y'all's business." Like, and that was it. And it was the fucking best best thing ever, man. Like
That's amazing.
I had such a blast in like an 8 to 10 hour span in Atlanta airport. People
That-
just talking
dude,
and stuff. It was just
what a
fantastic.
trip,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that airport's like a city, right? Like there's like
Yeah, eh?
they have sections of like so there's like 8 big sectors kind of thing, and there's like each sector has its own smoking lounge and its own bowl and its own bowl. Like it's a massive, massive airport. I've never even been to the city. I heard the strip clubs. I heard the party. This is supposed to be unbelievable in Atlanta, but you don't even have to leave the airport. Is what I'm saying. To have a good time.
If they can do that and just make you have the greatest time of your life just in an airport,
Imagine what happens when you
imagine
leave.
what you just get shot. That's where Atlanta starts.
There you go. Okay, should we get into our top 5s?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. I want to hear yours.
Okay.
I want to hear yours first.
All right, so let's start with one that I can barely pronounce, but the Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music.
Yeah.
Just a classic. I know like that seems very obvious to pick that song, but I have to.
No, and we always
And
we
that
always
was
start
the
where it
song.
starts.
Yeah, when I heard that, that's when I talk about, oh, I can listen to these guys.
Yeah.
Like I can get into this. This is different. Like you said, I was feeling the same way about music at that time as far as the gloom and what was going on between East Coast, West Coast, and rock music, which I loved, was falling apart. So hearing that was like a breath of fresh air, like
Big time.
and it was a distraction. It was a perfect distraction at a perfect time when everything else was falling apart.
Totally.
Yeah, that's
I feel like it got me through some hard music times.
for real.
Yeah.
Like I usually use music to get through real life stuff. This was music to get through music stuff. Like this.
That's really good.
That's it,
I
man.
can dig it. Yeah.
That's what Outkast was for me. It was like I needed an escape from all the BS going on and the doom and gloom of music at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was big. Again, no particular order with these, but that one had the biggest effect, I would say. Other than that, I'm going to jump to a bit later in their career when I was more like, well, okay, we'll go with The Whole World. This is a bit of a...
Oh, man.
I'm a Killer Mike dude, like RTJ. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I love RTJ. Again, another amazing group, which we'll have to do an episode on. But two people who came out and just, to me, have the same kind. There's a little bit of a parallel between Run the Jewels and Outkast as far as two people,
I can see that.
geniuses, amazing people in their own right, but also as a group are powerhouses.
100%.
But that song, because he's on it too, right away I was attached to that. Rosa Parks. Oh, that was a good track.
So good.
It's again, I always had the same feeling from them, even though the music changed so much. They always instilled that same feeling of funk and move, like you can just move to this stuff no matter what. Again, throughout the 90s, which when music was so, it was supposed to be so serious and it was supposed to be taken a certain way. Outkast really just, they had the best of those both worlds.
For sure, they could
And
be silly.
They could be silly, and you believe them because you really feel like that's who they are.
There was a
as
big
people.
divide within hip hop within that too, because it was like you could be you were like serious thug,
You were
dude,
either real,
or you were Busta Rhymes.
That's-
You were fucking give me some more.
give me some. Oh man, another guy.
Fire.
Videos.
Oh,
You want
man.
to talk about imagery and
Bump in my
videos?
head, bump my head.
Oh,
Flip mode is the
man.
greatest.
Just
Shout out,
give me
Busta
some
Rhymes.
more. Shout out, Busta. Bus. I love you, buddy.
Even that track with Janet Jackson was fuego,
dude.
too,
There's not much from him I don't like.
yeah, good call.
Good, Busta. But imagery wise too, another thing that instills certain feelings when you hear Bus talk.
Mm-hmm.
And again with these guys too. But you believed them when they were funny. When they were the Busta Rhymes, you believed it and you took it serious. And when they talked about real things, you took them serious.
Mm-hmm.
And they just did it in a way that spoke to people that wouldn't normally listen to these things.
Yeah,
And I love that about Outkast.
for sure.
They reach beyond the hip hop scene,
Big time.
big time.
Big time.
So I think it's 3. Next, B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad. Like, there's something about that drive in those vocals. Again, they use a lot of female vocals and stuff in backgrounding vocals and tracks.
They just
They just did it right,
how it
though.
starts too. You're like, what? The hell, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
That song builds.
Let's go.
That song just builds.
Oh man, it's
And that
so
video
good.
actually does give me Busta Rhymes vibes.
Very purpley, like weird
Yes,
green fields
big,
and
everything's
shit.
big.
Yeah,
Things are bigger.
a lot of
in
fisheye
your
lenses
face.
with
Yeah,
fucking bright
yep.
colors. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 4, and then last one. Actually, So Fresh, So Clean. Like, I love that song. That's like when songs become phrases. Like when you hear stuff in real life, like you have to get cleaned up, or I gotta go shower, and immediately it clicks in my. I gotta get so fresh and so clean. Like I gotta say clean twice. Like one music.
I can be in a grocery store and some guy be like, "Oh, this fish, like it's so fresh," and I'm like,
So clean. When in music, exactly. When a song, just a song title makes you do that, the hook, it just tells you how much that has entered your life. Like, and when the hooks can do that, there's no separation
Such
between
a good
what's real and what's
fucking line too. Just the lick itself is unbelievable. The melody, the lead melody line, is just perfect.
There's what is the song? It's one of those songs where there's one of their songs, we were just singing it. Your roses really smell like poo poo poo.
Just roses.
That's roses,
yeah.
right? I just want to mention that just for that line. That line always, another line that always enters my head. And sometimes I think I'm like, every time I hear the word poo now, I have to say poo, poo, poo. Like, it's just an automatic thing now. Outkast, just for writing that lyric, I fucking love you guys and I salute you guys. And just let you know, you got through to a metalhead, and those are my tracks, man. And none of those songs sound like poo, poo, poo. I just want to say that.
Okay, I'm gonna go through my top 5. I had 2 that matched with you, Southern Playalistic. Great track, such good. So Fresh.
Yeah.
Obviously, and then these were my picks, and these are from their sophomore album, AT Aliens. The title track off of it, AT Aliens. Unbelievable. Like, oh my god, dude, that song gives me chills. It's like creepy, kinda.
The vibes from that album had vibes galore.
Oh man, there's so many like space noises, like there's so much weird shit.
It's alien. It's alien. It's AT Alien.
Super
they
alien
really
vibe.
caught that feeling.
Again, like I said, anytime it has anything to do with space, I'm down, dude.
Did they collaborate with Daft Punk on that one?
Maybe, but I mean the P-Funk probably, like the P-Funk, not Daft Punk, but the P-Funk probably.
There you go.
And then they definitely had some vibes of that. Yeah,
I kind of
throw your hands in the air and wave them. I was a little white kid in a tiny little suburban town, and I was like, I will throw my hands in the air. Watch me.
Everybody was going like this.
I'm gonna throw them good.
Mama, look at me throw my hands in the
Mom,
air.
you're not watching me throw.
Mom.
We throwed before you dabbed, kids. Okay? Yeah. Are you kids with your dabs? We throwed. Need your fucking dabs.
We threw our hands in the air many times.
We threw them. And then I think this is the title song off of this, or the first song off of this, Elevators.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And again, just, I don't know, man. It's so organ heavy.
Again, from AT Aliens. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the last.
Oh,
the
last 3 are. Okay. Yeah. Again, those vibes. It all fit. Whoever mastered that and engineered that
unbelievable.
Album,
yeah.
did a great job.
Really heavy on. Really heavy, but just the right mix of echo and reverb on the vocal tracks on this. I don't know how to explain it. Just the right amount of echo at the end of certain lines, and they don't do it all the time where it's washed out.
Right.
But it's still a collage of crazy sounds and
that's
shit that
such
works.
an underrated thing with bands and songs. A great song is a song that utilizes something amazing, but then that's not utilized in every spot that you think. As a person who didn't create that, would be like, well, I would have added that here. It's so good.
Yeah,
why didn't you add it? Why didn't you do it everywhere? But then it becomes nothing.
It doesn't.
What makes it special is that there's nothing better than hearing.
Jay, I could say I love you all goddamn day, but if I just tell you once a day, doesn't it mean a little bit more?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly.
Terrible. Okay, and then the last track I have for this is Wheels of Steel. That's also.
Oh, I don't know this track.
I'm on my wheels of steel.
Okay.
Oh man, it's also AT. It's like probably one of my favorite songs off the album. But again, front to back, that album is fire. But Wheels of Steel is so good. I just have so many great memories of like listening to
makes
this
you remember these
like
things.
from a shitty CD like compact disc player ghetto blaster thing in like a carport trying to like see how many hockey sticks I could ollie over. You know, like that's what this album means to me. This album's like learning how to pop shove and like learning how to fucking.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and when music does that, I bet it feels like you could name everything about that memory. Like there's a scene,
it smells,
and you could everything. You'd be like, "That was there. This is there." You could
100%.
draw that probably perfectly. And music, when music does that, like they create an image, but they create a moment in time, and
it's the best.
You associate memories with it.
I think it's a big reason why we wanted to do this show because
it's to go through these moments again.
It's another form of memory for me.
Yes. 100%.
That kind of ignites and exposes like all of the senses of memory. But in one kind of nice little.
Well, like, and it's absolutely true. Even look at, like, when you watch videos, I'm a sucker for cat videos and stuff online, of course. But then there's videos of, like, people with dementia or the amnesia, anything, where they just have no recollection of their previous life.
Oh, and then they listen to some shit.
But you play a song
for
them. There was one I watched of this. She was a ballet dancer. And did you watch this?
Yeah.
Look this up if you can. But anyway,
they
put the music on for her of this certain score from a ballet that she used to do, and she was a professional ballet. Then she starts doing the movements in the scene.
Oh my god!
And
if you watch that before noon, you're crying.
I'm crying. Period on that, and it just proves and even people who have if they were musicians and you put like that instrument in front of them, they'll remember. So music has a spiritual, in-depth connection to things, memories, life.
It's powerful, man.
It's so powerful. You could forget your own family, but then a song comes on.
And sometimes I want to. Am I right?
My dad must have that.
All right. Well, on that super hacky joke, I think we're going to end this episode. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching.
Outkast. Check them out.
Yeah,
do a deep dive into them and check out
they're
songs.
Definitely.
I'm gonna check out one or two that I didn't know.
They're definitely worth checking out. Next week we're gonna be doing Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. Do we have another one or just that one right now?
We're gonna be doing Rage Against the Machine for next week. So I don't know. Listen to them all week, and then we'll talk about them after you listen to them a whole bunch. Right? That'll be good.
I love talking music.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Jay.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yes, all comment. That stuff. Cheers. Till next time.
Peace.